This man sold the world a new religion. Its gods were free kombucha, its temples were glass offices, and its heaven was a $47 billion valuation. Then, in 40 days, it all burned to the ground. And the most shocking part? The people who lost everything are still paying for it. For a decade, WeWork wasn't just a company. It was a fever dream. It hypnotized Silicon Valley, seduced Wall Street, and leased more office space than anyone on Earth. They sold community, elevating consciousness, and a mission to cure the world of being alone at your desk. Banks were throwing money faster than they could buy another firm for the lobby. But here's what that $47 billion valuation was really built on. A single beautiful, legally dubious word, subleasing. And it gets so much worse and funnier. The official story is a Silicon Valley fairy tale. A visionary entrepreneur, Adam Neumann, sees people trapped in soul-crushing cubicles. He creates a beautiful, flexible alternative, a physical social network. Work with purpose, community, synergy. Investors like SoftBank's Masayoshi Son see a tech company, not a real estate company, a space as a service platform destined to reshape how humanity works. The growth was staggering. Cities conquered. A valuation that dwarfed actual Fortune 500 companies. They said WeWork failed because of governance issues, an eccentric CEO, and a botched IPO. But that's just the version they want you to remember. Because here's the part they never mention. WeWork didn't just lose money. They invented a new kind of money loss. And they convinced the smartest people in finance to believe in it. The dirty secret was in the business model. WeWork would sign long-term, multi-million-dollar leases for office space, and then try to sublease it by the desk month to month. It was the ultimate mismatch. Huge, fixed liabilities, tiny, flexible income. To hide this, they created financial voodoo called Adjusted EBITDA, a magical metric that removed basic costs like building and staffing their offices. It's like calculating your personal profit by excluding your rent, food, and car payments. Meanwhile, Neumann was cashing out over $700 million before the IPO. Buying personal properties, the company would then lease back from him, and investing in a wave pool company. Because, surf vibes are crucial for a real estate firm. It was like watching someone set a dumpster on fire while doing yoga and calling it a new paradigm in energy creation. Because this next detail changes everything. When they finally had to tell the truth in their IPO filing, it read less like a financial document and more like a cult manifesto written on a spaceship. Greed met reality. The S-1 prospectus was the warning sign, a 300-page monument to hubris. The market recoiled. The tech company mask fell off, revealing a gargantuan, bleeding real estate bet. The denial was epic. SoftBank, already $10 billion deep, tried to throw more money into the furnace. Then came the explosion. The IPO was pulled. Valuation evaporated from $47 billion to nearly zero in weeks. 2,400 employees were laid off. Neumann exited with a $1.7 billion golden parachute, while employees lost their jobs and their stock options turned to dust. Some experts still argue it wasn't a business failure. It was a financial performance art piece demonstrating how charisma and capital can create a $47 billion illusion. This was the peak disaster. The company that wanted to elevate the world's consciousness was now fighting for its literal existence, saved only by the very people it conned, SoftBank, who orchestrated a bailout to avoid total catastrophe. The brand synonymous with we was laid bare as the story of one man's me. If money could scream, this is the moment the screaming stopped. Replaced by the quiet, humiliated sound of a keycard reader being disconnected. But here's the detail everyone ignores. WeWork didn't die. It just became a ghost that now haunts your economy. The long-term damage is subtle and everywhere. WeWork's collapse exposed the rot in commercial real estate. They were the single largest private occupier of office space in major cities. Their retreat left gaping holes, collapsing property values, and threatening banks that lent against those buildings. Your city's empty downtown? Part of that story starts here. The pension funds, the insurance companies, they're all tied into this web. The obsession with growth over profit that WeWork perfected? It's the same script every overhyped, unprofitable startup still reads from today. Your cost of living, your job security in the gig economy, the absurd valuations of companies that have never made a dollar. Yeah, thank the fantasy that WeWork proved could be sold for $47 billion. So what's the takeaway? The fall of WeWork isn't just the story of a company. It's the ultimate case study in narrative economics. It proves that in today's world, a powerful story about community, disruption, changing the world can be worth tens of billions, right up until the moment people ask for the receipts. The lesson isn't don't dream big. It's always separate the sermon from the balance sheet. Charisma is not a business model. Vibes are not an asset. And a company that claims it's about we, but is built entirely around the whims of one me, is a house of cards with a beer tap. WeWork's legacy is the hole it left in our cities, and the question it burned into our minds. How much are we still willing to pay for a beautiful story that just isn't true? And if you think selling a real estate company as a tech messiah was insane, wait until you see what happens when they try to sell you AI the same way. But that is a story for next time.